After you complete the lab assignment, let me show you how to submit and what to submit to complete your lab assignment. So this is the work I have done for pointers project, which is a lab one. So basically, you are going to compress the project folder and then submit it. So if I open the File Explorer, pointers, this is the project folder I have worked on with the Visual Studio Code. So I'm using Mac now. So to compress the folder, to right click and then choose compress pointers. This is a native compress utility comes with the Mac. So do not use any third-party app to compress. Use these native ones. If compress pointers, this does not show up, you may need to uninstall any compress tool you have had. So be sure to use the native Mac provided compress tool, and then click there, then pointers.zip is created. However, what you see is the after compression, it's 11 megabytes. So the folder is quite huge in size. Even if I created just several C++ program, the reason is on the Mac you can check the size using get info, and then the file size is 92 megabytes. So that's huge. So why you have a huge file is Visual Studio Code provides on-the-fly syntax check. To do so, Visual Studio Code keeps pre-compiled information for those syntax check. So that one is stored in pointers project. The .vs code folder is created. That's for configuration of VS Code. And then inside of that, there's another subfolder, IPCH is created. So this IPCH folder contains a huge cache files for on-the-fly syntax check. So before you compress, just delete IPCH subfolder, delete it, and then compress the code. Of course, the a.out or a.out any symbol, those ones we don't need either. In the later project, you may create a .o, the compiled code. So try to delete all of those, but do not delete launch.json. That is a debug configuration. So keep those ones. And then compress the folder, project folder. So let me erase this guy. Now pointers, if I compress, now the compressed file size is 3 kilobytes. That's small enough for submissions. Before you submit, change the compressed file name using the naming convention. So this is a lab 1, so begin with the lab 1, capital Lab, and then use your first name, register that use my first name is Hong, so capital H, Hong, and then last name initial, my last name is Sung, so S only. So that's the naming convention for submission file. So you do similarly for Windows. Let me switch to Windows. So here is a pointers subfolder there. So on Windows, also do right click and choose send to, and then choose compressed. So do not use any third-party compress tool. Use a native Windows provided utility only. If a compressed zip folder, this menu does not show up, you may need to uninstall any third-party compress tool you have installed. So press that, then pointers.zip is created. 2 is attached because that was already there. And then change the name, lab1 Hong S, that's a submission file there. So once you have compressed and then had those files there, then what you need to do is go to the programming to lab D12, and then at the end of each lesson, each lab, there is a submission page link. So click the submission page link. then you are on the assignment, the submission page. So here, first step is upload the file onto the D2L. That is by using add a file button. Add a file from my computer and upload the one is on my Google Drive and this folder. So lab1 hong s.zip is there. Open and add. So that is now uploaded onto D2L. Then you need to press the submit button. So what you see is the overwrite. For testing purpose, I have tested this page earlier so that I have a earlier submission already. Then your second submission and on, the button changed to overwrite, but it should be submit if this is your first time submission, and then press the submit button. Then, or if you are submitting again, it confirms that this submission will overwrite the one. So just press yes, then submission is successfully done. And then I want to check the email. You will receive a confirmation email. I'm receiving the email there. So if it's successfully submitted, you will receive a confirmation email there. And then you are done with the submission like that. So on this assignment page, which is on the assignment and assignments there, and on assignment page, you will see the status of the submissions, something like that. So one of the common mistakes students may make is that they forgot to press the submit button. So the submission is not actually done. Also, prior to the deadline, you may just submit it again, but the D2L will keep the most recent submission only, so earlier submissions will be overwritten. So there is no penalty of a multiple submission as long as your submission is before the deadline.